They're doing great. And by the way, there's been other changes around here. Not just my chickens getting bigger, but I also had to change some plans for this year for my hiking. And we were going to go to the Uinta Highline and finish that up, but my buddy had something going on. He couldn't make it this year. So I'm going to divert myself off to the Wind River Range once again. So in the meantime, let's take a look at my setup that I'm going to be taking with me up to the winds. Now the Wind River Range is a hidden gem in Wyoming. Now there's quite a few people who know about it, but it's a little bit difficult to get to, so it's not overcrowded like a lot of popular places are for hiking in the Rocky Mountains. Now last year I went up there with Fish Tank and we did the Teton Summit Lake Loop. Spectacular. Just made me hungry to go get more. And check out that video right up there. Had a great time. Now the Wind River Range, the winds as we call them, is about 100 miles long in Wyoming, and it goes from the northwest to the southeast kind of direction, and it follows the Continental Divide. Now the highest peak in Wyoming is Gannett Peak, and it's right there in the winds. It's 13,804 feet. There's also a lot of glaciers up there, and it has the highest concentration of glaciers within the United States in the Rocky Mountains. So what that typically means is a lot of water, a lot of lakes, and a lot of mosquitoes. Now we'll be hiking between 9,000 and 12,000 feet, a lot of subalpine and alpine areas, which means it's going to get pretty cool at night. There's gray granite peaks all over the place. You're surrounded by them almost the entire time. And in between those peaks are these valleys of pine forests. It's just beautiful. Now when you get into Wyoming, you're starting to get into grizz territory, or grizzly bears. So just be aware of that and be prepared for it. Now in this video, I'm not going to go through a review of every single gear item that I'm going to take with me, because I've done that in some other videos. I have a lightweight hammock setup video out there that's going to show you my shelter system that I'm going to use on this trip. Hammocks in Wyoming, in the mountains. Yeah, there's enough trees in these valleys for me to set up my hammock, and it's way comfortable. So that's the War Bonnet Ridge Runner hammock with the Lynx underquilt 10 degrees and a protector to go over the bottom of that. I'll also be carrying my Dutchware Dyneema tarp with me, but I won't be bringing my pull-out bars, the mod that I have. I'll instead be using my trekking poles with some cordage tied to my tarp to pull out the sides. That'll save me a little bit of weight. Also, the 3-day backpacking video that I put out there, that'll explain the rest of my gear, like what's in my ditty bag, my electronics, my food cooking kit, and also the clothes that I'll be bringing. I'll be taking my Dirkston Kakwa 40 pack and my Stormloft quilt from Outdoor Vitals. I got the long, wide version. Now, you can compare this to my other quilt that I've been bringing for years. That's my Loco Libre one that I've been using for a long time. This one is much more comfortable. It's wider, it's longer. Keeps me warmer too, because this is a 15 degree as opposed to the 20 degree Loco Libre that I have. And I'm going to need it on those cool nights up there. I'll be bringing my umbrella along with my Outdoor Research Helium lightweight rain jacket. Now let's talk about some things that are maybe special to this trip that I wouldn't normally take on some other trips. The first one is I mentioned a lot of mosquitoes up there, right? So I usually just go, I'll go fast enough to where I don't have to worry about mosquitoes, but I guess this place is pretty thick with mosquitoes. So the first thing is this little bug net right here. Very compact, very super lightweight. Pull your head. You can put a hat on. This fits with a hat. Keeps all the bugs out. You know, these things feel a little goofy, but I tell you what, those bugs will drive you insane. I grew up in Mosquitoville, back in Upper Michigan, so fully aware of what mosquitoes can do to your psyche.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing I'll have is some bug repellent. Now, I'm not a big fan of DEET because DEET is bad on your clothes, but also it's pretty chemical thick. So there's probably some long-term effects with DEET that I'm just uncomfortable with. So I bought this natural stuff. This is called Herbal Armor, and it's made from all natural ingredients. There's soybean oil, citronelle oil, peppermint oil, cedarwood oil, lemongrass oil, geranium oil,
and some inert ingredients. But um, this kind of stuff is all natural. It's safe for your skin. It's safe for your clothes. It's not going to bug you. It's not poisonous, except to those little pesky bugs. And I tried this out recently, and it works really well. I've used DEET in the past. This works as well as DEET in my experience. Now, I'm not going to carry this big old monster thing with me because it just weighs a lot and it's too bulky. So what I did is I poured a little bit of this into this tiny little spray bottle that I have here. And this fits right in my little hip pocket. Very nice. A couple of squirts of this. I'm good to go for a while. Spray it again later. Doesn't matter. Use as much as you like. It's not going to kill you. So now that I gave you the big chemical speech, I'm going to talk about the chemicals I use. Hey, no one's perfect. Don't judge me. I use permethrin on my clothes. These are great for mosquitoes and ticks. We don't have a lot of ticks up there. In fact, I don't know of any ticks that are up there, maybe a few. Not very common. But this does great with flies, bugs, mosquitoes, things, pesky things. And you spray this on your clothes, and it's safe for clothes. Don't put this on your skin, but just spray your clothes a day or two before you go. Let it soak in good. Some people actually soak their clothes in this stuff. I don't go that far. Just spray it down once, and it's good for like 6 washes. So it stays in your clothes pretty well, and it keeps the bugs away really good. Now, I've read that this works okay on wool clothes. I'm going to try it out in my expensive wool clothes. But I was out last time, and there was a lot of mosquitoes around me. I did not spray my wool clothes, and they were just eating up my back. So I'm going to try this on my wool this time, see what happens. And because this is Grizz territory, black bears, I usually don't bring anything with me to protect me, like spray or anything for black bears, because they're just not that big of a threat. They're not apex predators, where grizzlies are. It's a different animal. Not all bears are the same. Grizzlies are mean critters. So, what I have here, I have Counter Assault, and it's specifically made for grizzly bears. Grizzly Tough Pepper Spray. And there's videos out there about how to use this. This is in the little pouch that I bought with it. You don't have to buy the pouch if you don't want. This can just hang from your shoulder if you want, but it needs to be quickly accessible. So if you have a bear charging you and you don't see him until the last second, bears can travel up to 30 miles an hour. So, 30 feet away, they're seconds within getting you. So you have to be able to pull this out, ready to go, spray it down. Again, I'll watch some videos on how to use this. You want to put a cloud in front of them, and you want them to run right into the cloud. So this is a large caster. It's 10.2 ounces. I guess there's a lot of bears up in the winds. So just to be extra safe, I'm going to bring this with me. I'll probably never use it, and I'm okay with carrying something like this that I'll never use. It is going to be wet and muddy up there on the trail. I'm going to be crossing some creeks that don't have great bridges or any bridges, so I'm just going to have wet feet. Some people carry shoes that they use to cross creeks, but since the trail is going to be yucky anyway, look, my feet are just going to get wet. So just embrace it and get wet. Don't carry the extra weight of shoes. That's my opinion. Some people like to bring shoes. By all means, do what makes you comfortable and what you'd like to do. For me, I'm not going to bring any shoes. I'm just going to walk through it. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to have wet feet. That's how these things go. When you get to camp, take off your wet stuff and start drying it as soon as you get to camp. And one more thing. Reports are that there is a lot of snow up there still. That was a couple weeks ago, so I imagine I might run into some snow fields. So just as a precaution, I'm bringing my traction just to make sure I don't slide too far down the mountain, accidentally. So let's talk a little bit about the 2 hikes that I'll be doing up there. I'm going to do them back to back with a day in between. And the day in between, I'm going to charge all my electronics and maybe get a nice meal at Pinedale, a little town nearby, and get a nice rest in a hotel before I take off for my next one. So I might do these in reverse order. I don't know. I'll do these in some order. Not a lot of choices. So I'll be doing a loop through the Cirque of the Towers. and there's lots of different loops you can take up there. I'm not sure which one yet. It's either going to be like a 20 or a 30-mile loop, somewhere in that space. When I get up there and I take a look at what the passes look like and how much snow's up there, I'll make a decision when I get up there. But I'll be prepared. I'll study up on a few different loops. So I'll be taking Cirque of the Towers. Beautiful, beautiful place. And I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to go there. So that's going to take probably 4 days to get through that. And then I'm going to go a little bit north and I'm going to go up to the Titcomb Basin. Now that's an out and back trail. And I'm going to take 3 days to do that. To get up to the place where I'm going to camp, it's only about 11 and a half miles. And that's up by Island Lake. And that's right at one end of the Titcomb Basin. Then I'm going to spend the day up there just walking around the Titcomb Basin. It's like a 3-mile basin, but there's peaks all around there. And if there's enough snow melted to where I can walk through the basin, I'm going to do that. If not, I'm just going to spend the day up there and just relax and just enjoy my scenery up there. It's stunning. So then I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to take a little bit of detour on my way back home here, and I'm going to go see my brother who lives in Wyoming, spend maybe a day with him. But from here, it's about an 8.5 hour drive to get to the trailhead. So I'll leave one day, maybe walk in a mile or two, set up camp, and then start. And then on the way back, I'm going to spend the night at my brother's. So that's the plan. You know how these things go. Everything will change as soon as I get in my Jeep and I hit the road. Story of my life, plan B. Okay. All right. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you're eager about what's coming next, go ahead and subscribe. Like this video, comment down below. I always appreciate your comments. Love having a chat with people who have similar interests. Join the clan. Appreciate it. All right. So I'll see you on the trail.